In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo is an intermediate state between death and rebirth. It begins at the moment of death and lasts 49 days. It is an opportunity to glimpse the true nature of things and escape from the cycle that condemns us to die and be reborn. But the Bardo not only awaits us after death, we can enter into it during any moment of our lives. In Alejandro González Iñárritu's latest film, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, we follow Silverio Gama, an acclaimed Mexican journalist and filmmaker, in a journey across his Bardo, while he grapples with major themes of the human condition, such as migration, fame, art, parenthood, and death. But what can the strange chaos of the Bardo reveal about how we live our lives and build our identities? Existentialists like Sartre and Camus, and cultural anthropologists like Ernest Becker, consider death as the mainspring of human activity, the reason we do whatever we do. In the Bardo, as consciousness and the physical body split, one reconciles the experiences they've accrued throughout their waking life. Iñárritu's film charts this process by presenting Silverio's life as an emotional kaleidoscope, a design where memory and experiences become fused. The film compresses a life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, into a kind of labyrinth where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. From this rarefied perspective, it becomes nearly impossible to reconcile your past, present, and future self. They are all you, and yet they are not you, showing us that identity itself is a kind of Bardo. The protagonist is torn on his identity as a father, an artist, and a husband, but also as the citizen of Mexico and an immigrant to the United States. Mexico itself is split in two. After the United States invasion of 1846, Mexico had to cede half of its national territory, 1,300,000 square kilometers. In exchange, the country received $15 million.
We do live here. I'm a journalist, and this is my home.
This is not your home, sir. You have an O1 visa. Please look at the camera.
Yeah, I have an O1 visa because I work here and I pay taxes here, so I think I can call this place my home.
Fingerprints? No, sir, you cannot call this place your home.
The film's protagonist yearns for the Mexico he has lost, but he also carries shame from his success in the United States, a culture he can never make his own. In Mexico, he is no longer considered truly Mexican, but he cannot call the United States home either. His true place is the Bardo. Immigrants the world over deal with their Bardo every day. By migrating, they have not just crossed a physical border, they have somehow entered, while living, into a type of afterlife where they have not yet finished dying or beginning one's next birth. A parallel is drawn from the death of living one's origins and the rebirth not fully realized. The film also examines Mexico's complicated origins. In 1519, Hernán Cortés led Spanish conquistadors in a violent expedition into Mexico, killing thousands of indigenous people while stripping Mexico of gold and silver in the name of colonization. Cortés considers himself the first, and therefore, the father of all Mexican people. In the film, Silverio chastises Cortés and his legacy. While reflecting on his own identity, Silverio accepts how this painful history contributes directly to his modern Mexican identity and his Bardo. In essence, both Silverio and Cortés are in their own type of Bardo, for they both experience a displacement of their own origins. During Bardo, consciousness disintegrates. Disconnected from the body, the mind unravels. First, it clings to its memories and relives its time on Earth. But then it must deal with the nightmares and visions that spring from past experiences. In the wondrous chaos of Silverio's Bardo, where death and rebirth are a continuum, his identity fractures and crumbles as he moves towards a final moment of great clarity. Because there is always the possibility for enlightenment if we embrace our Bardo, not only at the end of life, but in every waking moment. We have the chance to open our eyes and see, to pierce the surface of our identity and find the ground that lies beneath, to let go of pain and suffering, to untie ourselves from ourselves, to let it all go and accept the Bardo that we really are.